Good call.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. We basically called you here in response to the fact that we've been getting questions all day about a so-called pension deal that is involving the municipal workers. We would like for you to know that there's a portion of our membership that belong to the municipal pension fund, and those are our paraprofessionals. Unfortunately, we have never been involved in any of the discussions at all around this. So any notion that we were close to a deal is not only erroneous, we've been trying to figure out what possibly that could mean. So again, we've come back to the notion that this is the mayor in his usual way of dividing and attempting to divide labor in his electoral ambitions. And it has absolutely nothing to do with reality. So this relentless attack that he has put out has to be addressed, and we're addressing it now. So we have not been involved. We've even asked, we just heard recently that there were a few unions that were interested in dealing with their municipal pensions. We have people that not only work in our office, but people that work in our schools that are involved in that. And we will never agree to any unconstitutional deprivation of our members' rights. So that's just something that we wanted you to know, that the real state of the negotiations has been that we have not been at that table at all. So, and we even asked about it. We've been involved with the We Are One coalition that we were involved with remotely during the state negotiations on pension, but we are also involved with the We Are One coalition for city pensions. And nowhere at any time have we been at a table about municipals. So we are very concerned, and we want to make sure everybody understands that. And our stance on pensions has not changed. It's very clear. This isn't a pension crisis. This is a revenue crisis. And the decisions that have been made that are unfortunate as far as we're concerned have been all about the mayor saying that he was not going to look at any revenue issues. And we also are hearing that this is part of a model that's based on the Park District bill that was negotiated in Springfield. So again, we have not been a part of this. And if we're going to see any changes to our members' pensions, we would like to be a part of that. But we want our members to also understand that we will not agree to any unconstitutional position. So I'll open the questions.
What do you think about the Park District bill? Would that model serve for CTU?
So when you say CTU, are you talking about our members in the municipal fund?
Yeah,
the model, because that's what they're talking about.
Increase in contributions, 2% increase contributions from employees.
Their situation is quite different. So in their situation, the Park District also had a very huge reserve, so that they had a lot of money there to begin with. So that is not necessarily what we're talking about in our pension funds.
So you're not talking about teachers negotiating, you're just talking about
Absolutely not.
What portion of your employees is that?
So we're looking at approximately, what do we have need?
3,700.
So we have 3,700, I like to just round that up to 4,000 active employees, but we also have another 6,000 who are retirees in the municipal fund. And they're our paraprofessionals.
And what would you accept, what would you be willing to bring to the table just for those paraprofessionals?
Well, first of all, we haven't seen any of the details other than a decrease in COLA, which we feel is unconstitutional. So we would like to see the rest of the plan.
So that's all you know about the details right now, it's just decrease in COLA.
When was the last time you've been in touch with anyone then about this, other than?
We have never been involved in any negotiations about the municipal fund, ever. No, I didn't do that.
No.
when, this is my dumb question here. So about a year ago, when you were talking with folks from the city, what was that all about?
That was about the Chicago Teachers Pension Fund. That's a different fund.
So then about how many of your members is that?
You just lay it on top.
Lay down.
Just lay
Just
it.
lay it flat.
Just lay it flat.
Okay, you good?
There you go.
Sorry. That's about 25,000 members, and actually more if you consider our retirees.
Okay, is that still ongoing?
Well, yes, theoretically, yes.
And is about a year ago the last time you sat down to talk about that?
You know, we had discussion last week, as a matter of fact, but we have only had maybe 2 discussions since May.
How's it going?
Okay, if it were going well, we'd be dancing, right?
So how would you characterize it, though?
Well, I would characterize it to the fact that we need someone in the room who can actually make decisions. And that's one of the biggest problems when you're trying to have conversations about very, very serious things. We're looking at trying to find some numbers. We still have not agreed on numbers.
There's something that you would say you're willing to bring to the table on your side if the city brings more revenue?
Okay, see, here's what we have to talk about. Until we have that in place, I don't want to discuss anything else until we have some clear understanding where the revenue is, what the number is. I can't even begin to speculate until we have real numbers, Paris. It's like, it doesn't make much sense to just go off and just throw things out. Because then people will, well, you said, blah, 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 because it'll be right there for the rest of the world to see. So I am not going to discuss anything until I have numbers from which I can really work with.
What are the specific numbers that you're waiting for?
Well, there has to be a difference. So when we first started talking about this over a year and a half ago, the bond ratings were significantly different. The return on investment were different. We spent a lot of our resources in coming up, working with actuaries, working with bond specialists to figure out how much money we would need in order to get to this area in the middle, right? Where there's this, it's no revenue here, and then what's in the middle would be a number that we could figure out where we could do some modification, some constitutional modification, okay? So unfortunately, that number has shifted, and primarily due to the fact that the mayor's absolute intransigence about bonding out this debt. So the problem then became that the bond ratings kept getting lowered. So that's not on us. We don't control that. Any other questions?
So you're talking about this being a revenue problem. Yesterday, day after the budget address, the House kills the graduated income tax push, and it passes the tax on millionaires proposal. So going forward, with that being done now, what do you think about, can any of that money come to you in time to change these negotiations at all? What do you think about that as a?
It's a very good question that we haven't actually had enough time to look at the numbers on. So yeah, it's if the $1 billion, I think they said they project $1 billion in new revenues for the state, which would come to, what, 200 million for Chicago maybe? So I don't know. You know, it's a very good question. We'd like to see how that works out too.
Are you surprised the graduated tax was failed so quickly after the budget address?
No. Nothing that comes out of Springfield ever surprises me.
Well,
Nothing.
I mean, the CTU has had a couple of ideas about how to raise revenue. Have any of them gone anywhere?
In terms of, what do you mean, have any of them gone anywhere?
You know, just have any of your ideas turned into proposed legislation? Do you have any lawmakers going to bat for you? And
Well, I mean,
Going.
it's a process. I mean, whenever you start talking about money and especially revenue, it's a huge process. So not yet, but we're always hopeful.
We're getting a change in the Constitution for the Speaker Madigan's plan, the tax on millionaires.
For the amendment,
Yeah.
we support that. Absolutely, we support that.
Wow.
But we support a variety of other ways of raising revenue, because clearly it's sorely needed in Illinois.
you set out, you focused on some legislative races in the primary. Are you going to formally announce an endorsement of Governor Quinn in the general election?
That comes from our PAC Ledge Committee. You know, we have a committee of rank and file members who make those kinds of decisions, and that they always inform us as to what they feel is good for them.
Do you have an opinion on Bruce Rauner or the candidacy of Bruce Rauner?
Yes?
Let's go with Sherry.
Okay.
Oh, will you,
I
Sherry?
just don't think Bruce Rauner is someone I would like to see as governor. I don't see how he helps us at all.
And is there a consequence here of not negotiating quickly enough that you might have to get Governor Rauner's signature on a bill to adjust the pensions?
Oh, God, I hope not. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye.